Chat was asking if I could look cross-eyed, so I was trying to cross my eyes, and I can't. There's a limitation here with my rigging, or rather my face tracking isn't fine-tuned enough to let me do that. So something I can do is I can create an expression toggle. Gorgeous goddesses don't gatekeep. It's time for a tiny mini tutorial. You would think that the word tiny would be enough, or mini would be enough, but I used both because I'm extra. Let's try this. Let's make an expression toggle. And in order to do this, I'm going to need my handy dandy VTube Studio. I guess this isn't gonna work this way. Let's get rid of the avatar. And let's make it bigger. Wow! Look at the bigness! In order to make an expression toggle, which is very handy for folks who aren't using a camera for face tracking, and you want to be able to pop in and out of different expressions, we're going to need to create it manually in VTube Studio. Let's do this. So here, you double-click anywhere in VTube Studio to bring up the Charms menu. And we're going to go to the pink settings button. Then we're going to hit this hotkey menu. Don't panic, don't panic. I know I have a lot. I know I have a lot of expression toggles. I know, don't panic. It's okay. It's okay. Ignore the fact that there's so many toggles. I do not have a problem. You have a problem, I don't. We're going to go to the expression editor. To make a totally new expression, we're going to click the Create New Expression button. Wow, it's so self-explanatory. Now it has turned you into your default version of your model. And the default version of D is, well, my belly dancer outfit. So if I want to try and get my eyes to cross, we're going to need to find the parameters just for my eyes. Let's go and find eyeball X and see what happens when I move my eyes. Oh, I see. They're both tied together. What about eyeball Y? Well, it looks like those are tied together. I cannot cross my eyes with this model, specifically because both eyeballs are stuck together! No! It looks silly. So, I can't do that. But what I think would be fun is if I could make like crazy, creepy smile face. I can take these and maximize my eye smile. Let's make a yandere face. Okay, I'm just gonna toggle on those parameters. I want my mouth smile to be maximized. Where is mouth smile? Mouth form. Okay. That's kind of nice. Always smiling. Always sad. Always smiling. I can make my mouth open or permanently closed. Look at what happens if I'm permanently closed mouth. If you put duct tape on my mouth. Oh no, we want no mouth open for this. So if you want to be able to create a toggle for your expressions, you're going to go through all of the shapes and you're going to turn on the things that you want affected by this button. If we're making a yandere expression, I'm going to toggle on the smile for my eyes maximum. I also want maybe a little lip press. Ah, yes. A little bit of that. No, I just want it to be always smiling.
Always smiling.
And then I want to turn on my angry fade. Yes, this is lovely. This right here would mean that I'm always in an angry expression. This is insane. But I've still got the little smile for my eyes.
Lovely.
But what if I always wanted my eyes to be a certain level of open and not be able to blink? Unblinking. We can do that too. I can go back up to my eye open parameters and I could open my eyes really wide. Now they're always open. Or I can close them so that they're always half lidded, and now they'll stay this way no matter which way I move my face. Yes, very nice. Oh, so lovely. If you toggle any of these little things on, it will mean that you cannot freely move that parameter with your own face. You're telling it, I only want you to be this way, in this direction, all the time. And it locks that parameter in place. Yeah. So let's see, if I wanted this a little extra yandere, I'm going to throw on maybe some sweat, because why not? Let's throw on a little bit of the dark purple, just the littlest bit. There, now I'm a nasty, sweaty yandere. Wonderful! And now I'm going to give this face a name, and I'm going to call it Yandere. And I'm going to save that expression. Next, now that I've returned to normal, I'm going to go to the bottom, clicking this arrow, of my lovely expression list. Ignore the fact that I have a million. I have a problem. But I don't actually. There's a good reason for all of these, I promise. And we're going to make a totally new hotkey, okay? And I'm going to give it a name, and I call it Yandere Expression. And then clicking the hotkey action button, we are going to set or unset an expression. The expression I'm going to use is Yandere that we just made. And then I'm going to hit some keys to record a button combination for that key. Now, whenever I press those button toggles, it will immediately turn on my new expression! Wow, expression toggles. It is that easy. Something that they don't tell you about creating expressions and such is they will exist in the file folder of your model until you delete the actual file. If you go into your model folder, so normally you'll find that located at the VTube Studio data folder. It's usually within your Steam Apps common folder location. If you go into your VTube Studio data, you will find under streaming assets and under live 2D models, find your model folder. And in that folder, you'll see a bunch of different JSON files. And these JSON files will include all of the different expressions that you've created. So if I look in this folder, you'll see that the ones that we just made are right here. They're going to exist there forever unless I delete these files. The moment you delete those files is when they will no longer exist. So if you ever make a expression toggle or an item toggle for your model, you want to make sure that you actually go into the files and delete that if you're no longer using it. Okay? If you don't delete it, that file will still exist, even if you delete the expression from VTube Studio itself. Keep that one in mind. I've used this method of creating expression toggles to not only make cool, silly faces, but I've also used it for posing my model. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's go back to the expression editor real quick. And we're going to create another new expression. This one for a body pose. But let's say I really wanted to turn my face one direction and look a certain way and make sure my head was posed so that I could take a picture from an angle. I am going to change my angle X, manually moving the slider so that my head can't move from this super far right configuration. And then I'm also going to move my eyes. Let's say I wanted to be able to look all the way over there or up in the corner. Now I can just pose my mouth while looking at the screen to take a screenshot. Simple, effective, lovely. Let's say I didn't like how wide my mouth was from this angle either. I could then go to my mouth forms and I could go to my... This should be mouth form. I could make it a little more neutral. I could make it sadder. I could make it excessively smiley. Or I could change this funnel and I could turn that funnel on so that I'm always puckering my lips. Ooh, woo, woo, woo. Or doing a lip press. You can also hyper shrug your mouth to the sky. This is the weirdest expression I've ever made. Oh. I'm sorry. I can't look at this. I can't look at this without laughing. Wait, what if I pucker my mouth more? You can get crazy with some of these facial expressions. More shrug, less pucker. Oh my gosh, such puckers. Look at my mouth. And let's say I love this. We're gonna call this right pucker up, babe. And now it will return me to normal. So I can then create a hotkey for this incredibly cursed face that we've just made. Okay, we're gonna call this cursed face. All right. And once again, the hotkey action will be to set or unset an expression. And we're gonna call it the right pucker up, babe. We're gonna grab that expression. And once again, I'm going to just press some buttons to make a hotkey. And now, if I hit the hotkey button, I put myself in this expression, and you know what I can do with this? I can take perfect poses of my model and not have to worry about it. I'm gonna set my face free. This has been a tiny tutorial and another episode of Gorgeous Goddess Don't Gatekeep.